In recent days, something peculiar has begun circulating through the corridors of Newcastle United, one of those silent movements that emerge before a bigger revelation and leave everyone trying to piece things together. The general feeling is that an important twist is forming behind the scenes, as if decisions that once seemed settled were suddenly being reviewed at the last moment. It is the sort of atmosphere that makes any supporter stop, take a deep breath and pay attention to what is coming. Because when waves like these begin to shift, it is rarely without reason. And when the subject involves unexpected changes, that natural restlessness to know exactly what is happening always appears. Even before the first clues became clear, the Newcastle community began to notice a rise in speculation and comments from sources close to the club. Nothing official, nothing directly stated, but enough to leave that lingering doubt. And if you follow Newcastle closely, you know this type of discreet movement rarely appears by accident. By the way, while you follow this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps our content reach more supporters and ensures you receive all the updates as soon as they happen. Gradually, some information began to align. People close to the club mentioned changes in stance, evaluation adjustments, and even a certain strategic repositioning involving specific members of the squad. The English press, especially outlets such as Football Insider, which frequently get internal rumors correct, began detailing that some decisions planned for January could be undergoing internal review. This raised the alert even further among supporters, creating a strong sense of expectation. What is most curious is that the more information emerged, the clearer it became that something big was about to be revealed. Backstage conversations began pointing towards a change of direction involving an important name in the squad, someone who had recently gained prominence within the club's internal analysis. The decision that is stirring Newcastle United's backstage involves Harvey Barnes. Yes, him, the player who, until just a few months ago, looked to be on his way out of St. James Park, now finds himself in a completely different moment. According to Football Insider, who spoke with former scout Mick Brown, Newcastle have completely reversed their assessment of the 27-year-old winger's future. After a period of uncertainty, inconsistent performances and rumors of an exit, Barnes has been reborn within Eddie Howe's plans and is closer to staying at the club than ever. And of course, as we continue unfolding this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important updates. This turnaround began taking shape in the 2-1 win against Manchester City, when Barnes scored twice and once again showed that aggressive, direct and decisive football that caught Newcastle's attention when he first arrived. With Anthony Gordon unavailable in some matches, Barnes took on greater responsibility and, according to Mick Brown, finally began to show the consistency that had long been demanded of him. The former scout, who worked for more than a decade at Manchester United during its most dominant period, told Football Insider that Barnes was being re-evaluated internally precisely because he was demonstrating the ability to repeat strong performances. That is an important point to understand the twist: consistency. Brown explained that one of Barnes' long-standing issues has always been irregularity. He goes through excellent phases, where he looks unstoppable, but then quickly enters periods of decline which left him vulnerable to losing his place in the team. This, combined with Newcastle's initial plans for the January window, meant that months ago the club was willing to listen to offers for the player. And if you are enjoying the analysis so far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way, you stay updated on everything related to the squad's development. It is important to highlight that, according to Football Insider, Barnes even considered leaving during the last window, seeking a club that could offer him more minutes as a starter. At that moment, Newcastle did not intend to make a possible transfer difficult. But, as football often does, everything changed quickly. Barnes' recent impact convinced Howe that the player can still be crucial, especially at moments when depth in the attacking sector is reduced. With Anthony Gordon absent, his performances reignited internal confidence. This point, in fact, was emphasized by Mick Brown. If Barnes maintains this level of commitment, Howe will not only want to keep him but will likely make him one of the priority options in the squad. The analysis is simple. When Barnes is at his best, he offers pace, presence in the box, finishing and with exactly the elements Howe values in his style of play. The change in the manager's stance is clear and marks a reversal of what had been planned internally for January. The current scenario is so different from months ago that the internal expectation has completely changed. Now, according to Football Insider, Newcastle should reject any offer for Barnes in the next window. This transformation in his situation shows how performances on the pitch can alter not only the coaching staff's opinion but also an entire club's planning. And the most interesting part about this turnaround is that hardly any supporter would have predicted this at the end of last season, when Barnes' form appeared stagnant. But as this story develops, there is another relevant point. Newcastle are planning an intense transfer window in January. According to Football Insider, the board have identified 4 priority positions for reinforcement: left back, right back, central midfield and a new forward. This need arises not only due to injuries but also because of the obvious lack of depth the squad has been facing. It is a clear strategy to boost their chances of recovering during the season, especially after an irregular start.